Good morning. Today, switching it up again. Today is about grounding. It's a good word, grounding. I think it's a really important tool that people should have. I think that the concept of it is so silly and so ridiculous that the concept behind it is usually overlooked. And some people talk about grounding as a physical thing. That's true. The electromagnetic force field your body puts off and that the world puts off. If you take your shoes off and you stand on the ground, it changes the field. That's real science. Whether or not it's beneficial, it helps you, any of the other nonsense, the woke movement, I don't even care. But it really does on a scientific, definable, quantifiable way. It balances it out. It's really weird. And if you hug a tree with your feet on the ground, it works even faster. I don't know why. I don't know if it matters. It makes me feel better. But that's not the type of grounding that, like, I think is super important. Although I think it's important. So it's kind of a weird statement to make. I absolutely feel that grounding is important, but I don't think it's like how all the energy moves. Like if grounding your feet on the ground magnetically restabilizes the ions around your field, cool. But I don't think the ions around your field are affected by the ions at the center of what's causing the disruption of the field itself. Emotion. I think that emotion is the center point of not being balanced and stable and all the other words that people use. I think it's definable that your emotional state determines your interaction with the world and therefore what you see in the world, whether it's frustrating, whether it's happy, whether it's sad. It's based on your perception of it. It doesn't exist outside of yourself, it exists within you. And we never talk about, or maybe some of you do. Maybe I'm preaching to the choir. I don't know. I don't even know who watches these videos because they can be downloaded, moved around. Apparently, you can get unwatched. Like people can watch you and then unwatch your videos. Somehow I watched the numbers on one of my videos go up by like 32 and then go down by like 37. And then the last couple of videos, no one's seen them at all. It's almost like the concepts and ideas that I'm putting forth had something to them and somebody saw that and immediately shut it all down. Isn't that funny? They're not going to be able to permanently shut it down. Someday you're going to watch this video. But for now, somehow they're not going out at all. And it's kind of weird that, like, it's going down like that, right? And a man get upset, right? Especially he's trying to create something, you know? Except I must be creating something if that's the reaction. So I think I'm doing good. No news is pretty good news. That's how I ground out that thought of needing to control. It's not my control. I don't control YouTube. I don't control who watches the videos. I don't control how far they go or how far they don't go. I'm not in control of any of that. I could probably spend money and promote them. Probably get at least 100 views or something. I know there's like some pay to play way with this thing. And then I remembered something. I thought maybe I'd done to myself. So we're going to talk about it really quick because I need to ground this out. I previously stated in one of my videos that you shouldn't share it out unless it was like one person that you knew that wanted these videos. That this videos ain't for everybody, and shh. when really it's just generalized bullshit from somebody that's not important. So, like, you should probably share it out. If you watch the video, share it out. I hereby rescind my previous statement about sharing out the videos, I guess. And by doing that, I'm allowing less control over my videos. I have to relinquish control of my videos if they're going to help anyone. And I don't even know if they're going to help anyone or if this is just a self-documented journal, but it's helping me. So maybe it'll help you. But I have to relinquish the idea that I know who these videos should go to or why. So I do that. I officially release it. You can be wrong. You see when I said in multiple videos, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Well, I think I was wrong. I don't want to monetize. I didn't ask for your subscription. I don't really care about that. But maybe we should share the videos out and let some other people talk about it. I think that's all right. So how did I come to this conclusion? I had to ground out my ego. How do I even identify that? It was really simple. Pretending that I have any control over YouTube is the ego check. That it isn't a self-regulating algorithm based on things that, like, if I don't want to advertise, I don't have to advertise, but I could spend $1,000 and get these videos out to 100,000 people if I really wanted to, right? It's pay to play. So not to pay to play and then say don't share the videos, isn't that a self-defeating purpose of trying to get your message out to people? It is. So I was wrong. Therefore, it's grounded out and it can move forward now in whatever direction it needs to without my way up in the air energy like, don't you do it, or what? What? No, here's some videos. Do whatever you want with them. I don't care anymore. I'm still not going to monetize, though. I'm just not in it. Like, I don't... I can't monetize something I find joy in. That's been something that I've learned over the years. If I monetize something I'm enjoying, it isn't enjoyable anymore. It's not a passion anymore. Now it's fucking something that I'm obligated to. And when I put my energy into something, then I'm obligated according to how I live my life to do that thing. Right now, I get up every morning because I want to, and I have these videos and I put them out. The idea that I have to get up every morning and a bunch of people rely on me speaking about something, that it's any more than just philosophy for anybody to pick up or set down, that idea is like defeats the purpose in my mind. But grounding to me is taking the thought and running it against reality. Really. Now, don't forget, I believe that you can do anything you put your mind to, that anything you can think up, you can create and experience. I believe that. But I don't believe I can fly. It's a good way to start grounding. Can I jump off the earth and fly around like a bird? No. So all those other superpowers you think you have, probably not. Here's another one for grounding. When you think people are talking about you, did you hear them say it? No. Shut up. Grounded. Did you hear him say something about you? Yes. Did you ask him about it? No. And shut the fuck up. You need to ground that out. Did you ask him about it? Yes. How did they respond? Did you respond from your own power or not? No. Shut the fuck up. Ground it out. Yes. You spoke from your own power. What was the end result? Did it get resolved? I know I'm being kind of like, where's he going with this? It's pretty simple. At any point in time during the checklist of thought to deed, anywhere in all those different circumstances for just one circumstance, at any point in time, you can decide before you interact with the situation to make a checklist for yourself on whether or not it's true. That's what grounding is to me. Is it true? If it's not true, it's ego. If it is true, how are you presenting it as truth? Because that could also be ego. And then when you do present it, even if it was truth, what's the end result of speaking your truth? Really simple checklist. There's this concept behind being able to check yourself, to find balance within yourself. When you're a child, there's no checks and balance. There's an emotional state in which you throw tantrums. There's no way around it. You throw tantrums based on the fact that you don't want to be honest. That's what kids do because they're doing something they know they're not supposed to, and they get caught, or they do something, and so they throw a tantrum about it, or they think they can get away with it, or if they overload the system with wham, 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 that they're going to get out of the consequence of their actions. It's how children act. We excuse children, right? We don't throw them in jail and beat the fuck out of them, and we don't do that to children. But once you become an adult, there's this general idea that throwing a temper tantrum like a child, the adults around you will treat you like a child. It's true, right? If you've been anywhere in life and experienced anything and have any kind of sense of like depth to yourself, none of us can handle someone that isn't, that you can't interact with. Am I wrong? Like, if people are going to act like a fucking child, you just don't want them around because they were supposed to learn those lessons as a child, right? It's that grounding. It's the, you're not the center of the universe. Check. You can't fly. Check. The people around you didn't do it to you. Check. But you're still acting like this. Bye. Not why. Bye. See you later. I think that's how we end up in situations in our life. Not because we didn't put our best intentions forward, not because we didn't have good thought processes, but because when it came right down to it, we couldn't ground ourselves out emotionally to be able to deal with the situation with like grace and gratitude. And then I think just building your own checklist. I don't care what it is. I don't whatever you need, you know, to feel however it is that you need to feel. But you got to have that checklist that stops you from going into an emotional state. Feeling emotions fucking got to, right? You got to cry things out, get mad, like all these things that they say are secondary emotions. The fuck you mean? They're just as important as the first one. You say they're caused by another one, but when I have righteous anger, it's not from fear. Righteous anger is knowing something's wrong and going after it. So how is anger a secondary emotion only? How is fear a first emotion? How is fear first? How is it that psychology itself teaches us that we start in a fear mode? That there's no other way to exist except fear, and then identifying your fear through secondary emotions, your reactions. They call anger a reaction instead of an emotion. Some weirdness going on there. There's something imbalanced about that. Just not sure what exactly, but I'll get there with it. But I just wanted to come on and talk just a little bit for just a minute about grounding. I'm going through a situation right now where I've got to stay grounded and speak from my heart because regardless of the now, the long-term consequences of showing unconditional love is all that's important. Having a daughter is not the easiest thing in the world, right? And I was told about this age women start to, I don't know, I'm losing my little girl and I'm getting a little young adult. But there's just so much nonsense for that poor little girl. And so even when it just hurts my feelings, I stay grounded because I just love my kids. Even when she's not the nicest person in the world, very inconsiderate, and still very much a child, and just give her grace. Got to give her grace. She's got to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. You just have to be willing to own up to them and learn from them. My daughter's still in the wants to make mistakes, but also wants to blame anyone outside of herself for the situation. And I don't know what else is going on in her life. I suspect abuse, and I can't prove it yet, but I've been working on it. I'm working on it really hard. I'm studying psychology so I can better understand the mindsets behind kids that get abused. And I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with the best of my ability, only having self education and not a degree in psychology. So, balance, even if it hurts, even if it sucks, I promise, this is all I can promise about grounding. Not grounding out in tough situations will make them 1,000 times worse. And I'd rather deal with the situation as it is, regardless of how much it hurts, because it's just going to hurt right now as I'm going through it instead of hurting for the next 5 years. You see? So, this is the point of grounding. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to anything I have to say. My philosophy is very unique and weird. But I see the benefits when humans take the time to base whatever on rationality instead of basing it on emotion. And I think the term grounding is really the ability to understand why you feel like you do and being willing to accept that you feel like you do, but being unwilling to fucking treat someone else less than they are just because of how you feel. I don't think that's okay. And I hope that helps somebody. I hope we sat down this morning. We had some of my conversations get real deep. Some of them just skip across the surface like a rock. Like we're just skipping rocks. We're just talking about the sunshine. Because the point is conversation, not judgment. The point is understanding, not a commitment to not understanding. You know what I mean? That's the difference.